Kia ora and welcome to Leaders on 7, the series that aims to take a fresh look at our party leaders, those who want your votes on November the 8th. I'm Shane Taurima, and joining me here in the audience in Parliament's Legislative Council chamber are political science students of Victoria University here in Wellington. Our first guest today is co-leader of a party that is nearing the end of its first full term in Parliament. The Māori Party grew out of strong opposition to Labour's foreshore and seabed legislation. It has since taken a principled and consultative approach to its work in the House, and now the party is tipped to play a significant role in the formation of the next government. Peter Sharples, welcome to Leaders on 7.
Kia ora, tēnā koe.
Let's clarify a few things from the outset. In terms of post-election talks, you're still keeping your options open about working with Labour or National?
Yeah, we haven't changed our view at all and our practice of going back to the people, so we'll still do that. We did 35 meetings in 5 days. We'll do it in 3 days this time. We're more organised.
What would be the ideal situation for the Māori Party after the election?
Oh, a phone call from the Governor-General would be good, nice. Yeah. But I guess it would be a treaty partner, somebody, a group, a party that recognises what we stand for, and that is our key values, which are people values.
What do you mean by treaty partner? Can you explain to me exactly what it means?
Well, a treaty partner is somebody a group that recognised the Treaty of Waitangi as a partnership between, originally through the original powers or Queen Victoria and Māori people. Now, there's all sorts of movements and kōrero to ratify that situation, and it hasn't happened. However, Māori still hang their hat on the fact that the treaty is relevant, and the treaty describes a formula for living together in these times, and we're one of those groups.
Let me take you back to this consultation, and can you clearly define to me what process will actually take place? As an example, after the election, are you going to go back? Well, first of all, answer me this question: who are you going to consult?
We're going to consult with the groups that we've set up in our individual electorates.
So, Māori Party membership?
Yes.
What about those, therefore, that may not be Māori Party members but do vote for you?
Well,
do they get a say?
Of course, if they're prepared to come to those hui, but at the end of the day, we've got to do it fast, and now people have the we have the infrastructure there to do it, so we'll do it that way. So
will you be communicating those talks or the outcome of that consultation with the electorate before they go to the polls?
No, we will be taking the ideas that have been discussed with them and looking at how it fits into talks after the election.
Is there any party the Māori Party can't work with?
Well, if yesterday's anything to go by? No. We can go by anybody who can show they can be loyal and trustworthy. And that's the point, isn't it? All the work that I've done in my life, I've had loyal people around me. It's been a piece of cake, but gosh, this is quite a different place.
Well, let me ask you now, out of the parties that are in Parliament right now, who are loyal, who are trustworthy? Who
I don't know that
criteria?
because I haven't had to work very closely with them. Individuals are mighty, but once the party thing starts working, then I'm learning new tricks which I don't want to learn. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on that I'm still sort of trying to avoid.
Tell me about your childhood.
My childhood? Yeah, it was a good one. Country, brought up in the hills, forest, bush, shack, poor, happy, rugby, kids, yeah, all that stuff. My father mixed with Māori, totally. And yeah, he was a roughie.
Because you've spoken about it before, about him beating you up, drawing blood.
Yeah. My first memory as a kid is getting a hiding. Age 4, I know I was 4 because I pushed my sister's pram, nearly fell off the veranda. Me and my big sister were pushing it up and down and nearly fell off, and the old man gave me hiding in front of my big sister and my mum. And all I remember, my memory is not of the pain, but of them calling out, "Leave him alone, he's only a baby, leave him alone, he's only a baby." And the baby was getting a hell of a hiding. But yeah, that's my first sort of memory even. So I started getting them when I was 4.
And how has that affected you?
Well, it's made me, I don't think it's affected me because I've been in and out of violence all my life. You know, I got mixed up sort of with the police trying to talk on behalf of the gangs and sort them out. And we did a lot of work with the police and gangs, and I was often the spokesperson for several gangs. This is back in the 70s when they were running riot and killing each other every week. I was called to identify a young man shot by the gang, rang me, "Hey Pete, we shot someone, come over." So I came over. And at the same time the police rang me, they wanted me over there for that gang. So I turned up at the place and I had to identify one of my own kapahaka who had half his face shot off. So, you know, things like that stay with you for the rest of your life.
I'm trying to picture post-election coalition talks.
Yeah.
You're going to be walking into the room with whoever it may be, but what are you going to be putting down on the table and saying, this is what we want?
Well, what we'll be saying is that past governments have not done anything to change, fill the gaps, if you like, close the gaps. And we want to do that this term. That's why we're talking to you.
Is part of that for the Māori Party to be able to have a veto on all Māori issues?
Along those lines, very definitely.
That's something that you're absolutely looking at?
I would say definitely we would look at. Well, it may be, we may be thinking outside of the current square in terms of the current ministers and the positions and so on. Perhaps like Winston did when he got a position outside of the cabinet and stuff. I mean, it just shows you quite a number of things may be possible under MMP.
Because earlier this week you did say that your personal opinion was that the Māori Party would not go into a form of coalition.
Yes, well, what I'm saying is that we're not rushing into a coalition thing because you could get drowned.
Do you trust Helen Clark?
Do you?
I'm asking the questions.
Yeah, too. Well, she's been a great leader. You know, she's done great things for her country, kept us out of wars and taken, I mean, she's been great. But maybe she's getting near the end of her time. I don't know.
I've asked you about Helen Clark. What about John Key? Do you trust him?
Oh, the same thing applies. I mean, it's very difficult to say that we trust them or we don't trust them, honestly. And I'm being really honest with you. I've got to know them both very, very well. And we have discussions about things all the time. And there's some good things, but in terms of trust, you only build that up as you have a close relationship. And I could build with either those two and other people in the parliament.
How long are you going to stick around in politics?
Myself, who knows? So,
another term, another 2 terms?
Yeah, another term, another 2 terms. I don't know. I'm enjoying it.
You're not sick of it?
It's really different. No, I sort of get a surprise every day, stuff that happens here. But no, I'm still enjoying it.
Let's leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us.
Shane. Pleasure.
My next guest has spent the last few months fighting to preserve his reputation in the face of serious allegations about his party finances. He's been stood down from his job as Foreign Minister, and this week he was censured by a majority of his peers in Parliament. But Winston Peters has met every challenge with a broadside of his own. Winston Peters, welcome.
Thank you very much.
From the outset, let us express our condolences to the passing of Brian Donnelly, a former New Zealand First MP.
Well, I've got to say that I'm not quite in the mood for this interview this afternoon, but Brian passed away at 2:20, and it's a very tragic circumstance. He was a great guy, a great Minister of Education, and a very talented academic with an extraordinary human face and conscience, and I hope he epitomised what my party stands for.
Let's talk about Winston Peters. Tell me about your mum and dad. Obviously, your mum passing away a few months ago at the age of 96 on the eve of New Zealand's 15th birthday. How much influence did your parents have on you?